By now, you've probably heard about the controversy surrounding cis actors cast in transgender roles. It happened most recently when Matt Bomer was cast as a trans sex worker in the upcoming indie drama Anything. For starters, a cis or cisgender person is someone whose gender identity matches with the biological sex they were assigned at birth. So for example, Jared Leto is a cis man, but Rayon, the character he played in Dallas Buyers Club, is a transgender woman. There have been a few groundbreaking exceptions in recent years, like Maya Taylor and Katana Kiki Rodriguez in Tangerine, and Laverne Cox on Orange is the New Black. Her character's role was not a main part of the storyline and seemingly served to add diversity to the cast. The majority of trans characters across Hollywood history have been played by cis actors, and that's a problem for a few reasons. Over 270 million Americans don't personally know any trans people. Given this reality, their only exposure is through the media, specifically film and TV. So it's crucial that they get it right.
Only 16% of Americans knew a trans person.
The remaining 84%?
You learn about us the same way we do.
We're mocked.
Our bodies are shamed.
We're made into villains.
Reduced to plot twists and punchlines.
We're even erased from our own history. Imagine if this is all you saw of yourself.
It's no wonder you're scared of us.
When there is a positive trans character on screen, who gets the part?
Not us!
Why you gotta play us like that?
It seems like an awful lot of the good parts were played by white, cis men.
You noticed that too?
You heard my wish, Gerda. When no one else could hear me, you did.
Many of the most well-known trans characters from movie and TV history were trans women portrayed by cis men. Now, some of these performances are great, while others are inaccurate or offensive stereotypes of trans identity. But despite the quality of a performance, or the quality of the writing behind a character, when a cis man plays a trans woman, it perpetuates a dangerous belief that can lead to violence and discrimination in the trans community in real life. The mirror image of a cis man playing a trans woman sends a very clear message to an audience that trans women are not real women, which obviously isn't true.
You're putting down after all this time.
But when you see David Duchovny in lipstick and a pencil skirt on Twin Peaks, or when you see Tom Wickinskin in a dress in Normal, or John Cameron Mitchell wearing a blonde wig as Hedwig, it suggests that a trans woman is just a man in dress-up, an idea that has led to the rising hate crimes and murder rates of trans women and trans women of color.
The recent murders of 3 transgender women in Louisiana are not linked, but their deaths are part of a disturbing trend.
And tonight, the FBI is digging deeper into the murder of a transgender Wayne State University student.
A transgender woman shot and killed, then set on fire.
The 8th transgender woman of color has been murdered in the United States, this time in Philadelphia.
Federal investigators are looking into the murders of 2 Detroit transgender women as possible hate crimes. Their deaths linked to the same area. They were killed less than a month apart.
25-year-old Ashton O'Hara, a transgender, stabbed to death and run over by a car.
I've been frightened, but not like this before.
We didn't. We didn't get a chance to give him one last hug.
All of the victims, trans women of color.
When Eddie Redmayne stepped off the set of The Danish Girl, he returned to his life as a cis man. But when trans actresses like Alexandra Billings, Angelica Ross, or Trace Lysette finish playing their characters, they're still women. Beyond the dangerous implications of this casting trend, casting cis actors in trans roles also strips trans actors of opportunities.
It's not something you can change. I mean, it's me. It's how I feel.
It's slightly preferable for a cis woman to play a trans woman character on screen, because at least a woman is playing a woman. But that doesn't change the fact that trans actors missed out on opportunities to play these characters. Alexandra Billings, best known for her character Davina in Amazon's Transparent, was originally cast in the 2005 indie drama Trans America. For 24 hours after she landed the role, the film's producer rescinded the offer, telling Billings that she wasn't a big enough name to get the movie funded. And then Felicity Huffman got the role, earning a Golden Globe Award and an Oscar nomination for her performance. Billings and many other trans actors have lost out on opportunities to depict trans lives with authenticity. Experience, Billings said, is the one thing that trans actors can bring to trans roles that cis actors can't. But the absence of trans actors on screen across Hollywood history has also contributed to the erasure of trans people.
I mean, I've always felt really uncomfortable in this body. So I've decided to transition. I'm changing myself from female to male.
Trans men and trans masculine characters have rarely been depicted on screen, and when they have been, you can bet a cis woman got the role. This casting trend doesn't have the same dangerous implications as cis men in trans female roles, but it erases actual trans men from pop culture and reduces their identities to stereotypes. Many of these roles suggest that trans men are just butch women with silly fake beards or baggy jeans, like Tatiana Maslany on Orphan Black, and anyone who saw Daniela C's Max in The L Word could walk away with the impression that being a trans man means being hyper-aggressive, angry, and insensitive. So how exactly does the industry move on from casting cis actors in trans roles?
It's not enough just to have trans actors.
We need trans writers,
producers,
and directors.
And to those who argue that acting is already playing a part that is not you, so why should it matter if a trans role is played by a trans character? The answer lies in a quote by Victoria Beltran, a transgender actress, in an interview conducted by Vice. There are still times I'm walking down the street and I have to hide that I'm a trans person. There are still situations where you have to be quiet and not say anything. There are still trans people being murdered. There are still trans people being harmed. It is important to normalize and create authentic images of transgender people in the media so these hate crimes lessen. Education through media and pop culture equals empathy, and empathy equals less hate and more understanding. The argument isn't that cis people should never be cast in trans roles, but that trans actors are given equal opportunities to do so first. Then, audiences can begin to see trans people for who they really are.
You have the power to educate,
to change minds,
shape public opinion,
and open hearts.
So we need you to show us
as we really are.
Tell our stories with creativity,
dignity,
humor, and depth that make us real people.
Let us help you tell those stories.
Or better yet, help us tell them ourselves.
And then put us in them.
Please give transgender talent a chance. Give them audition. Give them their story. Do that. I would not be unhappy were I the last cisgender male to play a female transgender on television.